Welcome to Makeout Sessions, your 7 minutes in heaven, brought to you by Kiss and Tell. This is our very first fashion episode, so I'm joined today with Veronica di Santo, Managing Director of Bridal Couture Powerhouse Ines di Santo, to discuss a little bit about their latest Spring 2021 collection and to see some great locations that match the gowns. So, let's make out.
Come inside, take off your coat, I'll make you feel at home. Now let's pour a glass of wine, cause now we're all alone. I've been waiting all night, so just let me hold you close to me. Cause I've been dying for you, girl, to make love to me.
Veronica, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me at Kiss and Tell Makeout Sessions. I'm so happy to be here with you.
Well, I am so thrilled that you joined us. I know we're definitely in a bit of strange times in the wedding industry, definitely with about 3-4 months ago, everything coming to a complete halt. So I'd love to hear a little bit of an update of what you guys have been up to at Ines di Santo before we jump into checking out the collection.
Absolutely. Well, when the lockdown was announced, we quickly retooled our facility and we decided to be a part of the solution here in our community. And we partnered with a few local hospitals and we got the whole team involved in making isolation gowns, PPE gowns, to help our frontline workers and all of the medical team. It was quite a journey in that we were still trying to process what the COVID lockdown was and what it meant to our lives, but having that minute to pause and being able to give back to our community in a special and meaningful way, the way we feel about brides and bridal gowns, it was a lot of fun.
Exactly. I think that is so important to kind of reconnect with your community. And I've heard that from so many other people, whether it's, obviously not necessarily bridal related, but just anyone, whether they're reconnecting with their neighbors, with people they just haven't talked to in a while, their family members, and local businesses. So that's amazing. Now, are you guys still producing the PPE gowns, or has the need kind of died down for that up in Toronto?
Well, I believe that because the numbers are down, I think the need may be falling, although we are still making PPE, but we're now reopening our doors both to our brides and to the rest of the stores that represent the Ines di Santo collection, and we're back in full swing making our bridal gowns.
Well, that's amazing because obviously everyone's been eager to kind of move on with their lives as well. So I'm really happy to hear that things to some extent are getting back to normal. And, fortunately, the fashion side of weddings was always one of the sectors of our industry that would likely recover on the earlier end, because it's, the gown is one of the first choices that the bride decides. And regardless of whether they're going to have their wedding, being like a much smaller, socially distanced, intimate outdoor wedding, or something that looks a little bit more like what we saw weddings of the past, the bride is still going to want to feel beautiful on their wedding day. So I think, the gown still plays such a key role to that woman and her search for that perfect wedding day look.
Yes.
So with that said, I'd love to check out a little bit of the collection. So I know you guys were gracious to, I think it was right about a week after you shared about the PPP efforts, you guys also launched your collection via a Zoom fashion show, which was really lovely. So I got to get a quick peek then, and I've been dying to share more. And that's kind of where the creative juices for me started going with, like, okay, I would wear this gown in this destination. So I picked a couple of my favorites from the collection, and I'm just going to give it a go. So the first one up was from the Ines di Santo Couture, and that's Nepeta. And the reason why I loved Nepeta was because of her like elegant, sleek, kind of silky silhouette, and this like stunning racerback bejeweled, embellished back. And I just thought, oh my God, this is a dress for for someone who wants to make such an impression, yet like actually be able to travel because it wouldn't take a ton of space getting to wherever you're having your wedding. So tell me a little bit about the inspiration behind Nepeta.
I think Nepeta is truly Ines di Santo in that it is part of her DNA. When I asked her, what were you thinking about when you came up with this gown? And like you said, it was sleek, it's modern, yet it's classic, it's elegant, polished, high collar. And what she had said was, I feel that my European heritage and growing up in Europe and seeing that architecture is something that she had in mind. And she also made me something like this 13 years ago. And she reminded me and said, don't remember, this was something that I did for you. And I said, yes, you're absolutely right. So it's truly part of Inez's DNA to come up with something that's polished, it's elegant, it's classic, it's timeless. So you'll never look back at your photos and say, why did I pick that? And trying to pick a perfect setting, like you said, for this is a lot of fun. You can do so much with it.
Exactly. Well, I love that you're part of that inspiration for this gown. It makes me love Nepeta even more. And I'm wondering if you're going to be so brave to share with us a picture of you rocking the similar gown 13 years ago. I would love to see that and share it with our viewers. But yeah, for me, I just felt like, wow, this gown, it's sparkling and amazing. So I instantly thought it would be phenomenal in a really elegant sunset destination. So my thoughts were kind of like the Amalfi Coast, and there's this amazing villa called Villa San Giacomo that is like terracotta. It's right on the cliff, so it's phenomenal for a sunset. Or another property, Castello Giusto, also terracotta, not too far down the road in Sorrento, or right in the Sorrento area, and both are waterfront, phenomenal for sunsets. And I just imagined how the back with the bejeweled racer back would glisten at sunset. So I thought of those two locations for the gown. So should we check out the next pieces?
Can I stop you just there for a second? Because I think that your creative juices are flowing. And I think it's so funny that you actually said that about sunset and the sparkle and the twinkle because of the bejeweled back. We actually did a photo shoot with Nepeta, and the first shot that we took was at like 5:40 a.m. when the sun was coming up. Clearly not what we were talking about, but we wanted to capture that light because the satin back crepe gives off that sheen. So when you said that, I just thought, are you in my head? Are you seeing what I'm? That's exactly what we did.
Exactly. Well, when you said that Ines was also inspired by her European roots and growing up in Europe, I was like, yes, I picked the right destinations for this. So just for the viewers, just so the viewers know, Veronica and I did not coordinate on which destinations to focus on. So, this is fun that it was a win for me. So yeah, should we check out the next one?
Yes.
Okay, so our next gown is Leilani. And Leilani is really a stunner. It's a cap-sleeved, cap-sleeved illusion ball gown, but breaks from tradition in that it has these amazing jewel encrusted and pearls all throughout the illusion. Obviously, a ball gown is going to be a little bit tough on the packing, but I think for some brides who want to feel really regal and majestic, it's such a stunner. So tell me a little bit about Leilani.
What I love about Leilani is, of course, the delicate beading that continues throughout the bodice, that illusion and cap sleeve with that defined sweetheart neckline. It cinches in the waist. It's got the volume on the bottom for that bride that always imagined herself a little regal and a little bit with a little more volume than, let's say, Nepeta. But it is a favorite. It has this beautiful lilac undertone to it. So in terms of the color, you wouldn't necessarily see that in a video or a photo, but up close, when you look at this gown, we did sample it in a light lilac color. And just that subtle contrast is really beautiful.
That's really interesting. And I was not aware of the lilac, but I think that would look amazing So my thoughts for Leilani on where to rock her would be those brides, wanting to be really regal, wanting to feel like a princess, but I don't love the matchy gown to your venue idea. So I love these kind of historical ruin like venues of kind of a phenomenal castle that was hundreds of years ago. So my thoughts were Esma Sultan, which is this amazing waterside ruin of a castle in Istanbul. And, I also thought kind of the glistening of the city lights on the water would also bring out all of the embellishment on the bodice. And another gorgeous one, more countryside, but that same kind of rustic ruin setting, La Badia di Orvieto in Umbria, Italy. And both just give you this kind of majestic mix of that princess look walking into a setting of what has been in the yesteryear. And it's just really mind-blowing.
Absolutely.
So for the next one, I was thinking we'd give a little nod to Lotus. Now, Lotus, I'm loving just because of her versatility, and I instantly thought rustic meets romantic, which is really, I feel like, a vibe that so many destination wedding brides are going for. With her slim silhouette, very sexy, yet kind of has this like innocent quality with the peekaboo lace bodice, and it's just soft and gentle. So tell me a little bit more about Lotus.
Lotus is one of my favorites. I think you nailed it when you said it's so versatile. It really allows you to move through so many different options on your wedding day, and that's what I think I love about it. It's also quite effortless, but yet very feminine and sexy. Absolutely. I think that the Lotus with the satin back crepe again lends itself to that shine, and with the corset, the corseted bodice and the lace insert, peekaboo insert, you've got enough to look at no matter where you're turned or who you're looking at. There's something to admire.
Exactly. And Lotus could really go for that like barefoot bride in the sand, or a bride that wants to, rock an amazing pair of Christian Louboutins in a more like put together venue. But our picks for Lotus, venue wise or wedding locations, were definitely more rustic destinations like Tulum, Mexico. We love Papaya Playa project, as well as there's a Wow, and both are boutique hotels. If you're thinking kind of that thatched roof, rustic wood, obviously doing the ceremony on the sand, that total vibe for Lotus. If we're wanting to maybe go a little bit longer haul or think of somewhere in Europe, I love Sifnos, Greece. It's this tiny island in the Cyclades. So most people know, Santorini and Mykonos. Well, Sifnos is a lot lesser known, a bit more rustic, and far fewer crowds. So you get this more authentic vibe. And there's a great villa there that does amazing weddings called Verena Villa, or a really cool rustic beach club called Lazaro Beach with, again, that same thatched roof look. And I just think that Lotus would be amazing in those settings. So, yeah. And again, we've got another Europe one for Ines. So I'm glad that I'm able to kind of have the mix of continents. So our next pick is actually Keys. And Keys, I'm naming it the Smart Girl's dress. Just because, like, looking at it at a glance, you're like, oh, okay, nice ball gown. And up close, I'm like, this is magnificent. There's, the cutouts and the buttons and the pockets, and it's just so polished, but it's so effortless. So tell me a little bit more about Keys.
So what I love about Queese is it's a little surprise when your bride, or when you see a bride in a dress like this, you don't imagine the slit. It's kind of a surprise when you end up walking or looking at that. So for the person who wants that like wow factor, it's kind of nice. Like you said, polished, glamorous. It really has that cummerbund, so it cinges in the waist, and it is effortless but still very polished. But it's for that bride, like I said, who has a real strong sense of fashion sense and style, and isn't willing to just, to just do something simple. She wants to do something that's a bit above and beyond what the normal is. And that's what I love, is taking that fashion risk.
Yeah, I thought, okay, kind of like a modern day Audrey Hepburn, what she would wear. It has architectural elements, it has just details that make you think. Again, that slit, I was like, oh, it's even sexy. I mean, it just has like something for everyone. But if you're really someone that's like thinking about the details, I love Quees. So for Quees, I was thinking, again, not wanting to have that matchy with the destination, I was thinking kind of like a French chateau / private estate type of setting. So again, something very polished, but a little bit more ornate on the venue, because Queens is so architectural and so clean. So my thoughts are Chateau de Taureau, which is in Provence, France. And if we're wanting to think of the Americas, Estancia de la Candelaria, which is in the Pampas region of Argentina, so not too far from Buenos Aires. So what are your thoughts on these locations?
I think those locations are so fantastic. I truly believe they are on point, because again, when I'm thinking about the bride, I'm thinking fun it girl. Just like you said, Audrey Hepburn, strong sense of fashion, really wants to make a statement in all of her fashion choices. So I really love the locations that you picked. I think they're the perfect complement for that it girl.
So, and if we have time for one more, I was thinking we would touch on Izmir. So all of the first 4 gowns that we touched on are all from the Ines di Santo couture collection. Izmir is one of the Ines by Ines di Santo gowns. So also from Spring 21 collection. And the reason why I loved Izmir was it's also a versatile gown, but I felt like Izmir was kind of that marriage of like elegant meets beachy, in that you have that molded bodice that is kind of embellished and bejeweled, yet you have that really soft and flowy skirt. So it's so airy and light, yet it still has that kind of bit of polish and elegance towards the top. So tell me a bit about Izmir.
Izmir is in my mind, it's a very, very corseted. It's all about fit. The girl that chooses Izmir is really obsessed with fit. Wants that fashion where she's going to be able to show off her figure. She wants to be able to move and enjoy the day, move through every scene throughout the day without having so much volume around her. But it's feminine and it's girly at the same time.
I totally got that. So what I was thinking, like I could see Izmir, and also one other thing I wanted to comment, Izmir does come with a separate cape. I'm loving Izmir with the cape. So, that's definitely, I think, just added value. But, you can either do Izmir alone or with the cape. I'm definitely thinking the cape, and I'm thinking like that idyllic beach destination that has kind of whitewashed boutique hotels and crystal blue water. So somewhere like, of course, with the gown being named Izmir, I was thinking a little bit like Bodrum, Turkey, a nearby destination. And 2 great properties there that come to mind. One is Kum Hotel Bodrum, a cute whitewashed boutique hotel, and another avant-garde Yelagavak. Or if we're thinking something a little bit more close to home, I was thinking of Belmont Capjaluca in Anguilla. So again, whitewashed, clean lines in the architecture, amazing white sand, amazing blue or turquoise waters, perfect setting for Izmir.
I agree. And I think you, again, nailed it with the cape. The cape is the perfect punctuation. It just elevates your style. It gives you this extra sense of fashion sense that, just you wouldn't have if you had it alone. You don't need to wear it, but I'm a true fan for the cape. I think it really elevates it.
Yes, and if you're going to be on the beach, you kind of want something blowing in the wind. So that cape just gives you, it is that elevated style, but it gives you this kind of majestic vibe as you arrive, and just it's quite the entrance. So I really loved going over these dresses, or the collection, and I'm glad that I was pretty accurate. I kept my fingers crossed throughout this whole time. So this was a really great time, Veronica. And what I kind of wanted to just wrap with is, stating that although there is a lot of uncertainty still about what the future of weddings are going to look like, we know that brides, number one, are going to want to look beautiful on their day, albeit that it's going to be more intimate, outdoor, socially distanced. We hope that we've given you some great ideas of beautiful locations to match that beautiful wedding day look. And we hope that you'll check out some more of the collection. If there's more that you want to see of each of these gowns, go over to InesDiSanto.com. And not only can you see more on each of the gowns, but you can also see where all of them are available locally at retailers near you. And more from Veronica and I at our Do You Kiss and Tell Instagram live after party. So make sure that you come prepared with questions, and we'll see you then. So thanks so much, Veronica, and I had a great time today.
Thank you.
All right, cheers.
Thank you.